Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Sitting in for Pinky Webb, I'm Ria Tanjuatco-Trillo. Today on the program, 2 Filipino seafarers are safe after a failed ship hijacking off Yemen's coast. The OFW released by Hamas after 49 days in captivity is discharged from the hospital. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega joins us in the program. And later, the joint air and maritime patrols in the West Philippine Sea between the Philippines and Australia formally concludes, but not without an incident involving Chinese fighter jets. Armed Forces spokesperson Colonel Medel Aguilar joins us for more later in the show. Two Filipino seafarers are safe after armed men attempted to hijack their ship off the Yemen coast on Monday. Authorities say the attack was thwarted by U.S. naval forces. This is the second case of hijacking in the past weeks, prompting the Migrant Workers Department to ask its maritime partners to consider expanding the high-risk zones to protect seafarers. Meanwhile, Jimmy Pacheco, the Filipino caregiver released by Hamas after nearly 50 days in captivity following a ceasefire with Israel, has been discharged from the hospital. He will continue to recuperate before flying back home. Now let's go straight to the source of this story. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega. Sir, good morning and thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
All right, sir, first of all, maybe you could start us off by giving us an update on the Filipino crew members aboard the MV Central Park. This was the cargo ship that was seized by an armed group in the Gulf of Eden. Where are they now and how are they doing so far?
They're still aboard ship and we're going to have them repatriated. They were 2 seafarers aboard a bigger tanker than what was previously taken. So well, everyone's relieved, of course. Everyone's relieved. I think this was not just a positive development, but an indication that there is a system to avoid further hijackings of ships.
Right. This is the second hijacking incident that took place involving Filipino crew members over just a matter of weeks. How concerning is this for the Philippine government? Are we seeing a new kind of trend or modus operandi here?
We'll definitely be seeing this because the Houthi rebels themselves have indicated that they will not stop doing it until the Israeli occupation or actions against Hamas in Gaza stop. So this is already an indication of what they intend to do. And that's why the Philippine government, well, we've heard from OIC Hans Kakdak of BMW, has indicated that we would like a special consideration for Filipino seafarers before they would be asked to sail on ships using that route.
Right. That being the case, how can Filipino seafarers be better protected in these high-risk zones?
If you remember, years ago, there were all these piracy incidents involving Somalian pirates. And that ended when ships started defending themselves or started having high-powered weapons to defend themselves. And there were even escorts in some cases. So this is something for the maritime industry to consider again. If you note, this latest tanker did not have any escort or anything like that. There were ships nearby, including the U.S. Navy ship, and we thank the U.S. for this, who answered the call. So anyway, one thing that the seafarers are told, and not just Philippine seafarers, but all seafarers, is that there is a protocol whenever they are close to being hijacked. There is a place to hide within the ship, so that hopefully help would come in before they take it hostage. And that's what happened exactly with the MV Central Park.
Okay, so you're saying that 2 Filipino seafarers were actually able to hide while this attempt was ongoing?
Yes, along with the other seafarers, they were the protocol was to for all the seafarers to go somewhere where it would be difficult for them to be seen by the hijackers. If you see a tanker is pretty big, so it would take time before the pirates come in, or whatever you call them, and take them, because they are not really interested in taking over the ship so much as actually getting hostages.
Right.
Of course, eventually they take the ship, but luckily the U.S. Navy ship was able to respond in time, and you can see that they have more firepower because the hijackers tried to flee.
All right, sir. Moving on to a slightly different topic, I want to ask about the 17 seafarers who were taken, I think, just a couple of weeks ago. Could you give us more information on the condition of those 17 Filipino seafarers held hostage by the Houthi rebels?
It is a problem that we are not able to be in touch with them because the Houthi rebels are not in touch with us either. So we are just going by their assurances that they will not be harmed because they precisely want to give a message. They want to send a message to the international community that they are the legitimate government in Yemen. In fact, they call themselves the Yemeni Naval Forces. So we still have to use our diplomatic contacts with other countries and organizations to get them out. The International Red Cross, the International Committee of the Red Cross, actually, based in Yemen, was telling us last week that their information was that all the seafarers would soon be released, but that was last week. So we'll have to see what else has to be done, because they certainly are not making any demands beyond the political demands. So, well, we're still targeting their release certainly by Christmas. I mean, it's not much sooner, much sooner. So we hope for the best. And of course, if they are harmed, this will engender a reaction from the international community, certainly.
That's right. So could you tell us, when was the last time that these Filipino hostages were contacted, and what condition were they in then?
That was during the first day of the hostage taking, exactly last week. So one was able to contact his family, but later his cell phone was confiscated. So the Houthis eventually released some videos of them seafarers being fed and all, but other than that, we don't have really any videos or any contact with them. So we're in touch with the family because we're telling the family as well that if there are any attempts to contact them, to inform the government as well, because these may well be scammers. That's a problem whenever there are these hostage takers. There are people claiming to be related to the hostage or the terrorists, if you so use the term, or pirates, and say that, well, give us money and then we'll release your relative. These are usually scam artists, but you never know. So
Right.
we'll see if they receive any contact themselves.
All right,
from
sir.
the,
Now, on to another hostage, Jimmy Pacheco. The Israel Foreign Ministry says Jimmy Pacheco has been released from hospital. What do we know so far about his condition? How is he doing?
He's getting better by the day. If you see there in the video, he's smiling as he's discharged on Sunday. The other picture that you're showing there on the screen are pictures from Saturday when he was visited by the Israeli foreign minister. He was discharged Sunday, and he's now staying at a hotel near the embassy, paid for by the Israeli government, which has already indicated that they will be providing him the same benefits that they do to Israeli citizens who have been victims of terrorism. He's much better every day. He gets better, and we do know that he will be coming home around the second week, around December 15 or so, third week before Christmas, to see his family. And latest word is that now he's reconsidering his previous decision, or previous desire, better put, to remain in Israel and work. Now he is considering the advice of the Philippine embassy that he should stay in the Philippines and possibly put up a business. And he was seriously considering it. So we'll hear from him hopefully when he gets home in a few weeks and see what he plans. At least he's happy that he's in touch with his family. And magpapalakas siya, and he was not physically harmed.
All right, that is fantastic, fantastic news. Was he able to shed light on his experience of his 49 days in captivity and what he experienced during that horribly unimaginable time?
No, because he first they've been advised by the Israelis to hold their peace and not speak about their captivity, because this will give away details which may harm efforts to get the other hostages out.
I see.
Second, I think he has some emotional stress about it, emotional trauma. He does recall that he doesn't know any other Filipino hostage aside from himself, and that he wasn't exactly harmed. He wasn't physically harmed. His only injuries were those obtained during the initial October 7 attack. Obviously, he's still in some sort of trauma because he saw his employer get killed before he himself was taken in handcuffs. So we'll hear eventually from him about it, but he's very thankful to the Lord and very thankful to all of us, because everyone, Filipinos and other nationals, hoped for his release along with the other hostages. And he feels fortunate, of course, that he's among the first who were released.
Right. So you mentioned earlier that the Israeli government will be providing certain benefits for Jimmy Pacheco. On the side of the Philippine government, what type of assistance will they be providing him with, if any?
Well, when he comes home, if he decides to come home, there is the DMW's reintegration program. OWA normally gives also the ayuda package of financial assistance. And there is the assistance also coming from other departments. DSWD has been giving its own aid package to Filipinos coming home. And TESDA gives scholarships to their children. The DOH also provides psychosocial or medical care if needed. No? So certainly this will be the case, and perhaps the president himself may decide to give him something in addition. We'll see, and I'm sure the nation will welcome him with open arms.
Right. Unfortunately, though, there is one Filipina still missing in Israel. Do we have any updates, any more information on the missing Filipina, Norilyn Babadilla?
Unfortunately, none, but we are using our contacts to at least get confirmation. Is she in fact a hostage? Our same friends from other countries who are so to seek, our intermediaries, are hopefully getting this information, and it may be possible that she's a hostage, or there may be even other Filipinos who are hostages. And we'd like them as soon as possible, and that's why we're hopeful for an extension of the current truce. The truce supposedly was only up to Monday, and now they've released 50 hostages in accordance with the agreement. And the other nationals, Thai, Filipino, Russian nationals, were not part of the 50 hostage agreement. They were separate. Okay. So let's see if there's an extension, and hopefully Ms. Babadilla will be among those, because the alternative would be very distressing. That would mean that she was one of those who was killed in the original attack, and whose body has not been found or has not been identified. But, miracles happen. One of the Israelis who were returned, a child, was thought to be dead, but she's back in Israel. So let's pray for the best. We are in touch with the family in Israel. So she has family in Israel. So let's hope for the best. And the president, of course, has his commitment to this.
Absolutely hoping for the best outcome there. Sir, thank you for your time this morning. We always appreciate it. That was Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega. Up ahead, tensions again rise as Chinese forces interfere with the Philippines' maritime exercises with Australia in the West Philippine Sea. We speak to AFP spokesperson Colonel Medel Aguilar about this when we return. This is A Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.